I used to believe that love, real love, was built on trust, the kind of trust that doesn't flinch in the face of doubt. And with Emily, I genuinely thought I'd found that. We'd been engaged for 8 months, and everything, at least on the surface, looked like a dream. She had this magnetic charm, the kind that drew people in and held them there, and a confidence that could command any room. But now, when I look back, I realize it wasn't confidence, it was control dressed in silk. She always had a way of getting exactly what she wanted, and maybe that should have been my first clue. Our relationship had its normal highs and lows, arguments, apologies, reconciliations, but there was a subtle pattern beneath it all. I started noticing how she'd twist my words in casual conversations with friends, casting herself as the delicate one and me as the unthinking, careless partner. When we argued, she always managed to come out looking like the one who'd been wronged, no matter how gently I tried to express myself. At first, I told myself I was imagining it, that maybe I was too sensitive, overanalyzing things that didn't matter. But the feeling in my gut didn't fade, it sharpened. One day, I noticed she'd been texting her ex a lot more than what felt appropriate. When I asked about it, she didn't explain or reassure. Instead, she went off on me, calling me paranoid, controlling, even toxic. She turned it around so quickly I barely knew what hit me, and somehow, I ended up apologizing just to calm her down. I told myself one fight wasn't worth ruining our plans for a future. But even as I said the words, I felt something cracking inside me. After that, her distance became obvious. She stopped answering calls, disappeared for hours with vague excuses, and her smile, once warm and disarming, turned cold and unreadable. Then came the night that shattered everything. I came home late from work. The moment I opened the door, something felt wrong. The apartment was chaos, furniture overturned, shattered glass scattered like glitter across the floor, picture frames cracked and crooked. And there she was, curled on the couch, mascara streaking her cheeks, hands shaking as she cried. She looked up at me like I was a monster, and then she said something I'll never forget. "How could you do this to me?" I didn't understand what she meant. We hadn't even spoken that day, but before I could process it, there was a knock. 2 police officers entered, stern and cold. Emily told them I'd attacked her, that I'd destroyed the apartment, that I'd threatened her life. Her voice trembled, and the scratches on her arms told a story I hadn't lived. I tried to speak, to explain, but my words felt useless in that moment. The evidence, fabricated as it was damning. They handcuffed me right there in our ruined home. She didn't flinch. She didn't cry. She stood just behind them, and as they led me away, she leaned in and whispered, so quietly no one else could hear, "Enjoy jail, loser." The next 2 nights were the longest of my life. I sat in a freezing, overcrowded holding cell, surrounded by strangers and noise and the awful silence inside my head. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think clearly. My job put me on indefinite leave. My reputation crumbled within hours. My parents were devastated, stunned by the accusations, and all I could do was sit with the truth no one would believe. But there was one thing I had forgotten, a tiny flicker of hope I never expected to need. Months ago, after a minor break-in scare, I had installed a security camera in the living room just in case. I hadn't even remembered it until my lawyer asked if there might be any kind of proof. We dug into the footage, and what we found left me breathless. There it was, clear as daylight. Emily alone in the apartment, overturning chairs, smashing glass with controlled precision, scratching her own arms with something sharp, sitting down on the couch, steadying her breathing, and then dialing the police with manufactured panic in her voice. The footage didn't just tell the truth, it screamed it. We handed the video over to the authorities. The case against me was dismissed immediately. In the same courtroom where I'd stood accused, Emily now stood exposed. She was arrested for filing a false report and fabricating evidence. Her lies had unraveled publicly and completely. And yet, even as I walked free, a weight lingered. I was free but not untouched. The emotional scars ran deep. This wasn't just about a breakup or betrayal. It was about someone I had loved with everything in me, using that love as a weapon. I still don't know why she did it. Maybe she wanted attention. Maybe she was punishing me for some imagined slight. Maybe she was just broken in ways I'll never understand. But eventually, I stopped looking for reasons. Some monsters wear beautiful faces and soft voices, and you never see the teeth until they bite. In an odd way, her cruel plan became the thing that saved me. It burned down everything false and left me with a painful but precious truth. Peace is worth more than pretending. Instinct is worth listening to. And love without trust is a slow death. It's been several months now. I've started therapy. I'm healing, slowly and deliberately. I've reconnected with the parts of myself I buried just to make her happy. And I've learned to be more careful with my heart. Emily's out of my life for good. And I'm finally breathing again. Sometimes, the most dangerous people are the ones who convince you they need saving. But I survived, I learned, and next time, I won't ignore the signs.